How's it going, everybody? Jason here, eXp Realty. Hey, welcome to a stormy day here in Las Vegas. Before I left the office today, I wanted to make a quick video about one of the most common questions I get on my channel. I'm sure it's a question you have, everybody has, and that's around HOAs, right? They want to know either how much is the HOA, or what does the HOA cover. I'll admit that's something I've not talked a lot about. I'll say on the individual condos. I did a couple videos, okay, where I did mention the HOA, and ended up just getting a whole bunch of just negative comments, right? People just complaining, oh my God, that's so much. What a ripoff, you know? And I'll admit, man, it just gets really, really annoying getting these comments from people that just don't understand why some HOAs, I'll say, in luxury condos are higher than you're going to get in a traditional HOA, you know, if you're living, you know, regular residential HOA, you know, over on Rainbow somewhere. Okay. So usually what happens, I delete those comments because they annoy me and I ban the users too. So if you're thinking about leaving a negative, nasty comment about HOAs and what a ripoff they are, which they're not, and we're going to talk about that. Think twice, all right? If you get a second chance, you can delete it now if you've already left the comment. But I delete them because it's just not worth it. But I just wrote down a list real quick, just some pros and some cons of HOAs for luxury high-rise living, why they're going to cost a little bit more, and also address really why it's not what they call a ripoff. All right, when the HOA is $1,000, okay, it's not a ripoff. Okay, I'm telling you, there's a reason people are paying $1,000 a month to live around other people that are paying $1,000 a month. You know, it's what Tony Robbins talks about, proximity to power, right? You ever hear that, where you surround yourself with, with people that you want to emulate, people that maybe are more successful than you, that you want to kind of learn from them, right? It's like they say, it's why a hole surrounds itself with a donut, right? That's kind of how I think of my life. And that's a lot of times, I didn't write that down on the list, but that's a lot of times why the HOAs, when they're going to cost more, they're going to be a little worth it, because you're going to get around people that you're probably going to learn from. Maybe you can do some business with, right? You may not get that in a regular residential condo, you know what I mean? So, for example, true story. This was about a week ago. I don't know if you guys have heard, but the Golden Gate ripped out all their table games, right? And it's a big controversy. People are all mad about it, and they replaced it with regular electronic slot machines. And so I went to go check it out. You know, I wanted to see what it was all about, see what was going on. And while I was there, Derek Stevens, the boss, right here, you know, Circo. Where is it at? Circo, right there. The big boss was sitting there hanging out, and he was sitting there with a guy, and they were chilling. And I thought, hey, you know what? I'm going to go say hi. So I went over and I said hello, introduced myself. I said, hey, Mr. Stevens, man, it's a pleasure to meet you. I said, look, I love what you're doing downtown. You're doing great things. You're building casinos, right? He's improving so much. And I was thankful for it. And I said, look, I live at the Ogden, and I really appreciate, the fact that you're focusing on downtown, because I'm focusing on downtown too. Well, the guy he was with, I won't say his name. I don't want to, out anybody, but guy I was with says, hey, man, I live at the Ogden too. I said, oh, no kidding. So he gives me his card, and hey, guess what? He's kind of one of the big dogs, all right? He's a big, obviously you're going to be a big boss if you're going to be sitting next to Derek Stevens, you know what I mean? So, but I say, hey, man, you're my neighbor. I didn't even know, you know what I mean? And so that's just, like I said, those are the types of things. These are the kind of people you're going to be around. This is the kind of guy that I'm going to bump elbows with on the elevator, and we're going to talk shop, we're going to talk business, we're going to talk about downtown, and who knows, someday may do business together. Something may happen, right? So those are kind of the what maybe the unintended consequences, right, of why HOAs, like I said, are worth it, right? I'm not saying where the costs go, okay? I'm just saying why it's worth it, because you're going to be around people. You're going to live an elevated kind of lifestyle. It's nice when you have a friend come over, maybe a lady friend, by the way, nothing wrong with that. Hey, say your lady friend wants to visit. Well, guess what? She's going to walk into this beautiful lobby, right? All the security. She's going to know she's in a safe place. It's going to smell good. It's going to be clean and look nice. All right. Well, guess what? That's going to come at a cost. All right. So, anyways, I don't cut here, y'all. I don't cut. I just throw the camera on and I roll. So again, at the expense of this video being an hour long, I just want to go through some pros and cons of the HOAs, why they're going to cost a little more. Not only just because you're going to be around cool people like me. You could be my neighbor. All right. You can't put a price on that. But let's get to it. Number one, okay, just the one thing I wrote down really is that it's a maintenance-free lifestyle. All right, when you move into a high-rise condo, you're getting that maintenance-free, right? You don't have yards, you don't have roof to deal with, you don't have to deal with the paint. In fact, we just had the whole building painted here just a couple years ago. All right, tell me how much you think that costs to paint an entire 200 plus unit condominium high-rise luxury complex. It's probably not cheap, but look, if somebody say you're downsizing, you got a house and you're just tired of the lawns and the roof and the gutters and all this, man, you don't want to deal with it. Look, this kind of lifestyle is nice. You don't have to worry about it. It's called the lock and leave lifestyle. If you want to go on vacation, you lock the door, you split, and you don't have to come back for 2 weeks. You don't have to worry about, like what happened to me one time when I went on vacation for a couple weeks. My sprinkler head broke, and I came home to like a flooded backyard. I don't know how long that thing was flooding, but it's quite annoying, right? Doesn't bust when you're there. It busts when you leave for vacation. But yeah, that maintenance-free lifestyle, it's so nice. Like you don't have to deal with it. You can just go live your life and go hang out. And so anyways, that's the number one pro. That's the number one reason probably for me why I sold my house and moved into a condo, because like I said, I just got tired of lawns and all this stuff. So I don't want to deal with it, So what do we got? We got number two, access to amenities. All right, so look, again, the Ogden, the Jewel, all of them, they're all going to have gyms, right? Most of them, not all of them, but most of them are going to have some sort of rooftop access, so you can have this nice, beautiful view. You can go outside, you can barbecue, you can cook, right? You can work out. These are really nice things. What else did I write? Yeah, the clubhouse, right? At the Ogden, we got the clubhouse where I was actually going to make this video from there, by the way. But you can go to the clubhouse. You can have a little party up there. If you want to have a get-together birthday party and your condo's not very big, just reserve the clubhouse, man. It's nice and big. There's a TV. It's got a beautiful view. You can entertain your friends. This is all stuff that comes, with the HOA fee, and it's nice. The stuff is nice. We just had a bunch of the furniture replaced in our clubhouse. It was, it's always refreshed. It's always nice, and so again, these are the little things. It's like, it's the difference between that zirconia and the diamond, right? It's that it's those details that it takes a while to kind of understand, but once you live it, you realize, man, this is nice. I really dig it. Community standards was number two. So it's really just about, like I said, keeping up the appearance of the property. The sky deck that we have, Lisa right now, Lisa's the building manager. She noted that they're getting all new plants, all new flowers, everything being put up there, right? Your typical HOA, when you live over on a residential, they're not doing that stuff. If the flowers die, maybe they'll replace them. But here, they're just keeping it fresh. They're keeping it updated, right? And so, again, the little details. Again, like I mentioned, the paint, right? We're keeping the paint nice. We're keeping the outside nice. Security does a really good job of kind of shooing away, if you're going to get some nefarious characters, wanting to hang around on the outside, they go, get out of here, right? So it's nice. We have, like I said, the community standard. And again, I'm only speaking for the Ogden. I'm sure, the other condos can speak for themselves. And hey, by the way, if you're a building manager, any other condo here downtown, I'd love to interview you and talk to you about your HOA and what it covers and why it's such a benefit and why it's worth it, which again, I think it's worth it. Love to hear from you. So leave me a comment, shoot me a message, all right? What else we got? Oh, security, man. Security is a great one, all right? This is the big one, all right? Especially, okay, when you're looking at luxury high-rise condominium living, security is very, very important for those of you that are maybe public figures, all right? You're a politician, you're an athlete, all right? You're somebody that's well known, okay? We have a couple pretty popular YouTubers here, okay? That maybe they get some stalkers. If we learned anything recently, there's some crazy people out there, all right? And so to have that level of security, and again, I'm only speaking for the Ogden, but we have, I'd say, 4 levels of security, all right? You got to badge in to get into the building. You got to, you got security, right? That's going to check you. If you live there, you're good. They're going to know who you are. You got to badge the elevator, all right? So, not anybody can just walk in and hop on the elevator. You got to badge the elevator to get on your floor. And then you got your lock on your door, right? So really, really, really tight security, 24 hours, right? We got the concierge. If you need anything, you just call the front desk. It's very, very nice. And hey, guess what? That comes at a cost. It's not free, all right? So when want to complain about the cost of an HOA, a lot of it is going to these services, right? To these amenities, to keeping things fresh, keeping things nice, and it's just like I say, it's worth it. The last one I wrote was dispute resolution. Man, let me tell you, you live on that condo on Rainbow, like I said, a regular residential, and say, yeah, okay, your HOA is $100 a month, great. Pool's probably got a diaper floating in it, and you got a noisy neighbor that you can't do anything about, right? Because your HOA is like, hey, man, deal with it yourself. Well, I can tell you, Lisa here and Molly, they manage the building here. They don't mess around, all right? And then again, I'm only speaking for the Ogden. They don't play. If people get noisy, they get loud, she will bust your butt, all right? And I've heard stories from some people that got a little out of line and they got put in check pretty quick. I know for myself, I had a neighbor when I first moved in, didn't know that I had moved in, and he was noisy. He used to throw a dog bone on his floor. He had dogs, right? And he would throw this bone on his hardwood floor, and it would just like echo all through my. It scared the heck out of me every time he did it. So I was going to talk to him, but I didn't want to like be a jerk. So I talked to Lisa. I said, "Hey, Lisa, I got this guy. He's making some noise. I don't want to like cause a scene if I talk to him and he gets rude. What should I do?" And she says, "Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it." And guess what? Boom, not a peep ever again. All right. So those are the kinds of things. Like I said, if you got trouble, you got a neighbor that you're having issue with, man, she will handle it. All right. I've heard some stories. I've heard of people getting the boot from the building. All right. It's not for everybody. All right. It's not for everybody, but it's nice, right? It's nice to know that if I'm going to pay this fee, okay, I'm going to pay a little more than we're going to pay everywhere else for a reason. Like I said, the money, it's all going to a good place. Oh, and let me note too. See, my brain's flowing. The HOA fee that you're paying, and this is where people say, oh, it's a ripoff and blah blah blah. All the HOA fees are going into a budget, okay, that is visible to you as a resident. All right, as a resident, if you want to look and see where your money is going, itemized every cost, where it's all going, you have access to that. All right, I actually just moved a client in. He wanted to see it, and he was like, "Hey, man, I'm pretty impressed. Like, they're managing the money really well. We got some great reserves." I said, "Yeah, man, I told you, Lisa and Molly, man, they don't mess around, right? They run a really good, tight ship." And so it's not about them wasting the money, or some people think that you're paying this extra cost and that the HOA manager is just running off to the Bahamas, with all this extra money. No, man, maintaining buildings like this, it costs money, and not only costs money to maintain, but you got to have money in reserve. And we've got a really good reserve because actually one of the cons I wrote down, we'll just talk about that, is special assessments. All right, this is something people really, really worry about. And I worried about it when I was moving here is, you move into a place and, hey, man, there's a big major cost. Like, for example, when we painted. I don't know how much that costs. I don't even want to know. But a lot of times, if you live in a regular residential condo and they're going to paint that thing, they're going to hit you with a special assessment, okay? And you're going to get hit with $500-600 for X amount of months, or they're just going to hit you for a one-time fee. Everybody's got to pony up. And if you don't have it, they can kick you out. All right. And so that's something people worry about. You don't have to worry about, well, I'm not saying you don't have to worry about it. I mean, it's still possible. All right. But we have such a good reserve because of, like I said, because your HOA is going to pay really, really good managers too. Okay. We got to pay their salary to keep the building up. That's not free, right? Lisa, Molly, they don't work for free. So we got to keep that up. We got to, like I said, keep your eye, if you like, on the budget. We actually just had a water pipe burst, okay, here in the building. I'm sure that cost a heck ton of money. I don't even know, right? Again, thankfully, knock on wood, y'all. We didn't get hit with a special assessment because Lisa has managed the money and it's in a reserve and it's paid for, right? So, maybe if, some catastrophic event hits, who knows? But these are the things you got to think about, all right? It's not just about, oh my God, I can get an HOA cheaper. Sure, you can. You're not going to get these services. You're not going to get these amenities. And you're not going to, like I said, you're not going to be able to bump elbows with people who sit next to Derek Stevens, at Golden Gate, right? Like, this is my neighbor now. If I see him again, I can chit chat with him, So again, these are, like I said, these are just those little fine details that really, really go a long way. And I'll add too, in terms of the HOAs across downtown, whether we're talking the Jewel, right, or a Newport Lofts, anywhere. The Ogden is actually one of the more affordable HOAs, by the way. If you go by square foot, what you're getting, everything, it's actually pretty good. All right. So if you really want to break down the numbers, you can break down the numbers, but for what you get, especially for having access to right here downtown Fremont or East Fremont, the Fremont Street experience, all that, all the free concerts, everything you get, hey, that's free. I went and saw Buck Cherry a little while ago. They were awesome, right? I mean, we saw Seether a little while ago. It was awesome, okay, for free, right? So, again, these things come at a cost. But again, like I said, the cons, maybe some special assessments, all right, haven't been hit yet. Again, our condo is managed well. What was it? Oh yeah, restrictive rules. That was the one that we wrote down. So yeah, there's going to be some rules. Okay, I can't speak. I can speak for the Ogden. Like you can't have grills out on your patio. All right, things like that. So there's going to be things that you can't do. But for the most part, on the inside of your building, you own the inside. But again, if you want to do like a major renovation, you're probably going to need to talk to Lisa about it. Make sure that it's okay. You can't totally do anything you want, but for the most part, if you want to paint your place, whatever, paint it. You want to like buy some weird furniture, fine, knock yourself out. It's your living space. But if you're going to start knocking down walls and start doing things that actually alter the building plan, the plan of the unit, you're probably going to run into some problems there. Okay, but like I said, out on the deck, there's going to be limitations on things that you can and can't do out on the deck. Some people think they can go out on the deck and smoke. There's no smoking on the deck, right? People smoke cigarettes and they throw the cigarette over and it ends up in other people's balconies, right? It makes a big mess. Okay, so just things like that. If you're going to live around people in close quarters like that, you're going to have problems. You're going to have people that make a little noise, and that's fine. Thankfully, like I said, our building management team is really good at keeping a check on that. But like I said, it's absolutely 100% worth it. I love it. Now, do I like paying it? No, I don't like paying this expensive HOA. But is it worth it? Yeah, it's worth it. It's nice to have the security. We got a nice pool. We got a gym. We got the clubhouse, right? Look, when I have friends come over and they walk in that building, man, it's pretty impressive. Okay, it's pretty impressive, man. It'll definitely make you look and feel like a big boss, So I think that was all I had. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I had. So if you have any questions on the HOA, let me know. I think maybe in my upcoming videos, I'll probably mention the HOA fee per unit again. Like I said, I did it a couple times. I stopped just because of the dumb comments, but it seems to be something people really do want. People do just ask sometimes, like, how much is it? It's no judgment on them. They're just curious how much it is. So I think I'll just start mentioning that, probably give some more information as well. But again, don't let the cost of the HOA bother you. Oh, a final note. I should have put this at the beginning. If you're still listening, you're still watching this, okay, you're winning right now. You're winning, like Charlie Sheen says. When it comes to electric or utility costs, I'll say, really your electric bill. And again, I'm always speaking for the Ogden. Those of you in California, when you run your air conditioner in the summer, I know many of you are paying $500-600+ a month in the summer just on your electric bill, just to run your air conditioner. All right, something that people don't realize, right, when they move downtown or they move into these units, is that the air conditioning units, right, the handling unit, the actual compressor, everything that actually quote unquote conditions the air, that's on the roof of the building. Those are not tied to your unit. All right, so all the electricity, which is probably 95% of the electricity that cools air, is actually paid for by the HOA. Your HOA pays that, right? It's not your specific HOA bill. So what you have inside of your unit is really kind of like, I'd say maybe just the blower, right? You've got your thermostat, and it's gonna bring in the nice fresh cool air, but those handlers are on the roof. All right, and so you're really only responsible for the electric on your handler, or not on your handler, but on the blower within your unit. And so I can tell you now, look, again, disclosure, don't sue me. Your situation may be different, all right? I live in a pretty good sized 2 bedroom. Okay, it's not the biggest, it's not the smallest. And the highest my electric bill has ever been in the summer was $150. All right, so if you're looking at a condo here in Vegas and you're in California and you're paying $700 a month for just for your electric bill, all right, and then you're looking at the HOA and going, oh my God, that HOA is $700. Oh my God, what a ripoff! Oh, I'm not paying that. Well, you're saving $600, all right, just on electricity per month. All right, so little things to think about. All right, now look, some units are going to be more, some will be less. Like I said, I can only speak for myself because that's what my electric bill. All right. The gas, again, for the Ogden, gas is paid. You pay pretty much your internet, your TV, and your HOA and your electric bill. So it's nice to have the gas paid for by the HOA. You want to throw a lasagna in the oven and let it cook for 2.5 hours? Hey, you don't have to worry about the gas bill. So, but again, that's just something to think about. I was having a conversation with the potential client looking to move over here, and he was shocked by that. He was like, "Oh my God, I didn't know." That it was like that. Yeah. So again, you Californians out there, I know I'm from California originally. I know how much that electric bill is, and you can run like I said, it is nice to have your air conditioner nice and cool and not worry about getting your wallet blown up. Okay, by the electric man. So those are the things to think about. All right, HOA expensive? Yes. Is it worth it? Yes. Does it come with some restrictions and some things? Yeah. But anyways, I've rambled on long enough, everybody. How long is this video? Heck, it's 23-minute dang 20. Well, by the time I edit the beginning, it's a 20-minute video, y'all. Wow. See, I could just blah, blah, blah. So thanks for watching, everybody. Look forward to doing some more videos for you all. If you have any questions, as always, let me know. Leave a comment. And hey, we'll be in touch, all right? You take care now.